Aldo, we are back, my friend, with one of the most well-known celebrities, I would call him,
Come on.
right, in the New York calisthenics community. This guy has a ton of training, nutrition knowledge, works his ass off. He's on YouTube. He shows you everything live and uncut, exactly what he does. I came upon him actually a few years back when I started getting into calisthenics. So he's definitely been a big inspiration to me. I know he's an inspiration to a lot of other people. So you guys out there watching, if you're looking to get in shape, stay in shape, you want to lose weight, anything fitness related, you need to hook up with my man, Bar Natural Prez. What's up, Prez?
What's going on, fellas? Damn, bro, that intro was fire. I'm about to steal that from my YouTube intros, bro. That was dope.
You got it. You got
No,
it.
that was really nice, bro. Really nice. Thank you.
So,
Thank you for the introduction, bro. Very much appreciated.
and we appreciate you being here. Like I said, you've been a big inspiration. And I was talking to Aldo about you, and we've both been excited, when we reached out and you agreed to do it. So,
That's what's up.
all right, let's jump right in, man. So let's go back. Take me back before you were let's say way back in the day. Maybe you were only like the vice pres back then.
All right,
Before
all
you
right,
became the
all
real
right.
pres. You born and raised in New York, right?
Born and raised in Queens, New York, 100%.
Okay. And as a kid, were you like
So,
athletically inclined? Were you into sports and stuff
yeah,
like
yeah.
that?
When I was a kid, I started playing hockey when I was like 8. I started playing on a team when I was 8. I probably started when I was 6 on the block with my cousins and everything. We were running street hockey, a little bit of roller hockey. And I honestly thought I was going to go to the NHL. I was nice. I played travel. I started with travel. I started with ice. And then I fell in love with indoor roller travel. And I traveled all over the country. I traveled to Canada, played all over in tournaments. And then when I was in 8th grade, I actually got some bad news where I failed the hearing test. Going into high school, they make you take a physical. I failed the hearing test, and they go, "Oh, you must have an ear infection." So they put me on medicine for a month. Said retest. I failed it again a month later, so they sent me for MRIs and CAT scans, and they found out I had a tumor in my ear, my inner ear. So in 8th grade, I had a major surgery, which I was still able to play hockey after that. I was still able to play, but I was out for like a couple months. My equilibrium was off, everything was fucked up. And funny thing, that first surgery, my surgeon was like, you may have to, you never jump out of a plane. You can never deep sea dive. You can never go like scuba diving. And he goes, and he joked and he goes, you may not ever be able to like walk on your hands or do shit like that. I'm like, all right, no, but back then I'm like, whatever. I was in 8th grade. I didn't have any intention of ever doing handstands or nothing, or thinking my life was gonna, be balanced, doing balance with calisthenics and shit. But then in high school, the tumor came back. I had another surgery, which was another major surgery, where they were like basically cutting my ear off, going in from behind, taking the tumor out. And then after the 2 surgeries, there was so much damage done, they had to do reconstructive surgery. So they had to go and do a third surgery. That third surgery, once I had the fake bones put in, I was in high school and they were like, you can't get hit no more. So hockey, I had to like stop playing like serious hockey. And my homeroom teacher, and in high school, the hockey coach used to show up to my homeroom every day. Can you play? Can you play? I'm like, nah, I can't play no more, man. I'm done. And then I messed around a little bit with my boys here and there, but I just like, and at that age, I was like 17, 16, probably 16. And, other endeavors happen in life, the party scene, I'm like, fuck it. I'm done with hockey. I'm gonna just live my life, have fun, whatever it is. Right. And then, so I was always into sports though. Then New York handball culture is huge down here. So I was a big handball player, almost to the point when I was going to get my first tat was going to be a skybounds ball. I was going to get a skybounds on my arm. And I didn't get that tat, but yeah, I always played handball. I played handball even through like when I was younger, through the hockey days, and then handball was like my main sport until like 18. I started joining the gym with my boys, doing just like basic shit, like going to the gym, arm day every day, chest day every day, and that was it. Right, arms and chest.
So then,
So fast forward now, I'm 21, right, and I come across. I want to say it was the bartenders on YouTube, Giant, and then the other New York OGs. Like this, I'm talking about before I even like noticed Zeph. And Zeph was one of the first people I noticed also from the Barbarians. But it was like bartenders, the Harlem Seals. And me and my boys were all like, we were into the gym, and then we seen this shit, and we were like, yo, we got to get on this calisthenics stuff, because there were parks around my neighborhood all that we could train in. There were a lot of parks. So we tried going to the park, doing muscle ups. We were all whack. And I remember one of the first workouts I watched was from this dude, technician from the Harlem Seals. And the first video, one of the first videos he talked about was like, yo, I do 500 pull-ups, 500 dips, and maybe he said 500 push-ups every day. So I'm like, all right, this is what I got to do. So me and my boys, we went to the park. And we said, let's do 500 pull-ups. And we were there for like 4 hours. It took us forever. Like, and it was, we were doing the shittiest reps, and we were probably fake counting reps and everything, but we put the work in that day, and it just like beat us up, right? And then we would legit drive around to every park just looking for people trying to do muscle ups. And then one day we came across these two dudes, and damn, bro, I wish I could fucking remember who they were, but I want to say they were, I don't know if they're bartenders or not, but they put us on, like they showed us the technique and everything. And then it was just like, all right, they showed us the flow and how to coordinate the movement. And then we just took it to the drawing board on ourselves. Like, we didn't have no bands back then. We didn't fuck with no bands. It was just like, yo, let's just get up on this bar however we can. Let's just get struggle ups. And still, like, I was 21 and I was still whack at it, right? So I want to say this was like 2009, right? Because I graduated high school 2006. So yeah, so May of like 2009 when we first found it. And I was always working in the city, so I would always just like keep my eyes out just to look for somebody, like anybody on a scaffold. And then I came across another dude rocking a bartender shirt, and I can't remember his name, but it had I don't remember his name, but he had the Giant Thinking shirt on. And I'm like, yo, bro, I follow you guys. Like, I met one of your other boys before, and he's like, oh shit, what's up? And then he showed me some shit on the scaffold, and then from there it was just like, that's it. I'm full in, all out on calisthenics, and I was anti everything, anti gym, anti weights. And me and my boys, we were young, we were 21, so we were training like twice a day, like midday, like 12, 1 o'clock, and then back to the park at like 6 o'clock at night, 7 o'clock at night, just training, trying to get better. And I think I remember May, I got my first muscle up. We started in May, and then like I got my first unassisted muscle ups in like July of that year, right? So July '09. From then it was like I got videos like of me in 2010, 2000, sloppy shit. I was still into my party days, so we were out drinking 4 nights a week still. So I was in college too. So I was in a community college at first, Queensboro, which again I took a 2-year college into like a 4-year endeavor because again me and my boys were just chilling the whole time, smoking and barely going to class. And then I graduated finally. I finally graduated the 2-year, and then I went to Queens College. That was a 4-year college, and that's when I went into my major, exercise science and nutrition.
Oh, nice.
So I was in that program, and I was my last semester, right? I had maybe 13 credits left. But this one class, bro, I think it was like biomechanics, some fucking class with a lot of math in it. And I failed it once. And it was just I hated learning about when there's numbers and letters around, like learning velocities. I'm like, yo, I don't know this. I can't comprehend this. So then I took it the second semester, and I ended up getting the same professor. And I'm like, yo, this is fucked up. I hate this lady. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna drop your class again. I'm gonna try it one more time. And then I found out she was the only professor who taught it. So I'm like, yo, fuck this. I'm done. I was, like I said, last semester from graduating. And they say that degree, it's like you're almost going to be a doctor, the amount of science and shit that they put you through. But then I said, fuck it. I knew if I was going to be a personal trainer, regardless, I had to get certified, regardless. Even if I had my degree would have put me in a school if I wanted to be a gym teacher or something like that. But I'm like, if I want to work in a gym, which is the initial route I was going to do, I'm like, I got to get certified. So I went through NASM, which is the best, the top certification you could get for personal training. So I went through NASM, got my NASM cert, and now this is all 2000. I want to say I got certified 2012-ish. So I graduated high school 2006. So 6 years later, right? So I spent 4 years in the 2-year school, and then I only had to do really 2 years in the Queens College, right? Because I already had my associates, I only had to go for my bachelor's. So I had 2 more years left. And like I said, I went through a year and a half there. And then that last half a year, I'm like, yo, what? Fucking, I'm done. And the whole time, though, I was working. I was blessed, thank God. My mom had her own business. And I was working from her for her business since I was 18, and my work ethic has always been good. No, even the 4 nights a week that I was out partying, if I got home at 4 in the morning, I was in the city every day, 7:30, no matter what. And my building, I was an expediter, right? So I was always pulling permits and shit. I was always at the Department of Buildings. They open 8:30. I would always be there 7:30 online before everybody, and whoever was there before me, they would take the elevator up to the fucking third floor. I would run up the stairs, so I would beat everybody up. I would be the first one up. I would get all my shit done in like 3-4 hours. That's why I was able to, my training schedule, I was always training by like 12, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. In the city, 7:30, home by like 11:30, 12. In the park, as soon as I got home, 1 o'clock, training again. So I always had the work ethic. Like I was always a hustler like that. And like I never slacked and shit like that. I never stopped working. I never take days off. Like never would take a day off. I don't give a fuck. And yeah, there was a day that we stole. Me and my boys, we fucking robbed a taxi from Long Island after a night out at a fucking bar. But it was like a long story. Like we were out there. I'll tell you the story anyways. Now that we're on it, right? We got messed up, and these cops like saw us outside the bar about to get in my boy's car, and they're like, "You guys ain't getting in here." He goes, "You guys got where you guys from?" We're like, "Queens." So the cops take our car keys. They're like, "We're gonna get you in a cab." So they put us in a cab, and this cab driver like tried to do some funny shit. Try to like he pulled up in an alley, and then his boy came out, and they tried to rob me and my two me. It was me and my two boys. So me and my one boy get out, and the other one gets my other boy jumps in the driver's seat. He's like, "Yo, get in," and we just take his cab and we dip, and we just fucking drove that shit like 10 blocks away, and then we got out the cab, we parked the cab, and we were on the side of the highway. We crossed the highway on foot, and then we're like, "Oh shit!" My one boy who had the only one who had money left in his pocket was like, "Yo, I lost my wallet in the car in the cab." So we get another cab. We get in that cab. We take it to Queens, to my mom's block. We jump out and we run from that guy. And then the next morning, that was literally like I got home like 5 a.m. and I remember I was in the city at like 6:30 in the morning. Like I went straight to the city to work to go wait online. And then like a week later, we get a call. I'm at the beach. The day before, we're all going to fucking Mexico for spring break. It's a cop on the phone, and he goes, "Yo, we know that you stole this cab because my boy who lost his wallet in the cab was using my other boy's ID." So the
Oh
cops showed up
man.
at my boy's house, whose ID was in the car, and my boy's like, "I didn't even know that. I thought they were telling some BS story. We didn't believe him." And he basically said, "Yo, this is the kids who stole the cab. It wasn't me." And we had to go turn ourselves in. He goes, "Yo, the cops like, listen, go on vacation. When you get back from Mexico, come turn yourselves in."
Oh, that's a nice guy.
So we turned ourselves in. We tried to do it all on our own, right? Didn't tell our parents. We were, like I said, we were 21. And I don't even think we were 21 at this time. We were 20 still, right? We were because we were at a college bar. We didn't even need ID yet. And we fucking go to court on our own. They're like, "You guys are getting charged with grand theft auto and everything." We're like, "All right, we need to get lawyers." So I asked some random dude, I'm like, "Yo, can you be my lawyer?" And then he goes, "All right, get in my car." And he goes, "Go in my car, tell your boys to follow me," gets us all lawyers and everything. Long story short, we beat the case because the cop that fucking put us in the cab was like, "Yo, I put these kids in the cab. Like you were supposed to take them home." And then the guy tried to rob us. So long story short, that ended, right? So that was just us. Like that was just we were just wild kids back in the day. And when we started Bar Naturals, it was like 5, 6 of us. Throughout the years, me and my one boy Julio, he probably stayed the longest with me. And then he eventually, he moved out of the town. He moved to Long Island, fell off a little bit. But me, I still rock with it. You already know.
You the
So
only
how
one?
did-
I'm the only one still active with it. I mean, they're all still Bar Naturals, but I'm the OG and the only one right now.
how did you kind of got in with the whole, New York culture, like all the others?
I
There's a
went
lot of
to
names
every
out there.
competition. So, all right. So like I said, we were training from like 2010. I would say like from 2009 was like our intro year, right? May of 2009. That's when we found it. That's when we started to try muscle ups, right? And then by July of 2010, we had muscle ups down, but shitty, sloppy. And like I said, we were partying 4 nights a week, right? I remember I didn't enter no comps until I think 2012 or 2013. But those 2, 3 years, like 2010, 2011, 2012, like I said, I was still in my party days. I would train. I was getting nicer on the bar. We were all getting nicer on the bar. We were freestyling, but none of us had the look, right? We all still looked like we were fucking out of shape because we drank so much and everything. It was the year that I was gonna turn 20, but I don't know, 23 or something like that. The year I turned 20, so it was 2000. This year was 2012. It just turned 2012, January of 2012. And I said, "Yo, I'm tired of not looking like I play the part. I'm like, I gotta look the part now." So January 2012, New Year's, my resolution was, "Yo, I'm gonna just quit drinking for 4 months. I'm gonna clean my diet up." And by April of 2012. I was ripped. I was probably the leanest I ever been. Like I got down to like 150, shredded, and I was getting fucking super nice on the bar. Because when my heaviest, when I was partying drinking, I was like 170 almost, 168. I got down shredded 150. I was flying on the bar. I was doing 20 clip muscle ups easy. And I remember I entered my first competition was NBXA, and that's when you had to freestyle no matter what. You had to be able to do a freestyle on the bar. So you couldn't just go and do reps. You had to show some type of skill. So we were jumping around the bars and everything. I was the only one who competed. My boys were there watching me. I mean, I didn't do good. I didn't place or nothing. But then that next year, 2013, I entered like the five Bs, which was the five boroughs, the New York, one of the New York battles, one of the old school New York battles. And I came in like third in clean muscle ups. And then I came in the next year, I came in first, or the same year, 2013, I came in first it was hosted by Black Ninja. I forgot the name of the competition. It might have been another NBXA competition, but this is hosted in like Darrow's gym. I think it was in Far Rockaway or something like that. And I won max dips in 1 minute, and I hit 70 dips in 1 minute. And so one of the old OGs that I first met was this guy, Bandana Red, and he was from the Highlanders, and they were from Queens also. They were old school calisthenic team also. So I met him previously, and then on the competition day, I competed, and I ended up dipping from the competition like before it all finished. Like I was there for a few hours, and I had other obligations to do that day. So I dipped, and I remember getting the call. It was like, "Yo, E, you won. You came in first place for dips." He met me in the park, fucking brought me the trophy, and I got the picture still somewhere. But it's me sitting on top of the bars, flexing with the trophy, and it was like one of my fucking happiest moments. And and then I stayed competing in competitions. I brought some of I started, some of my other boys started to train with me. And one of my competitions, my one boy, like he actually, I was coaching him, and he beat me in one of the comps that we were in together in one of the routines. And I'm like, that just shows, bro, I'm a better coach. I'm a good coach than a fucking than performer sometimes. And I was always training my boys for free because, like I said, I was going to school for exercise science, so I had the knowledge, I had all the science knowledge, I had the training knowledge. But what they teach you in school is all textbook shit. It's more bodybuilding. It's more like what the government wants you to learn and everything. So, and at that time, I was like, actually, when I got ripped, I was like anti-carbs. I was like on my keto shit, right? So I was hard body, like low carb diet. So I was putting like all my clients onto that, and it helps. Like if you got a lot of weight to lose, like if you go and do strict keto, like you're gonna lose the weight. You may not perform the best, but I mean, it was working for me at the time. And then I would say around like 2014, I'm like, I always get like bored of shit. So I'm like, I'm not going to compete no more. I'm just going to focus on building, my own little business. And I was just like coaching friends and like local people here and there, but like charging nothing. I was making good money with my mom's business. So that was my main bread and butter. And the calisthenics was always just like fun shit for me. If I trained you and you paid me, you paid me. If I trained you and you didn't pay me, I didn't care because I just enjoyed doing it. And then COVID hit, big fast forward. I stayed training, right? But then like around 2015, so by like when I was 25, so when I turned 25, which I think was the year 2013, because what's this? 26, I'm 30, I'm gonna be 36, 38 this year. I'm gonna be, so let's just say 2013, right? I was 25. Yeah, 2013, I turned 25. And I'm like, yo, I was done drinking. I quit drinking. I was all about like eating good and everything. Basically, I was training people here and there for fun. And then fast forward 2020, COVID hit. I'm still working on my mom's business, but that shit got taken from in person to everything went online. So I'm like, all right, now I'm gonna go all in on training. Now I'm gonna make a business out of it. I met up with That's Good Money. You know That's Good Money?
I wanted to get into that with you because now, as a matter of fact, I think that that's the first time I saw you.
Definitely.
Was on a Good Money
For
video.
sure. For sure. Because I didn't even pop off my YouTube yet. I was going on his. And I knew him. I had met George from Good Money probably in like 20, I probably met him at some of the comps that I was competing in up until like 2014. I think the last competition I competed in was probably, well, not as of now. I've been competing still. I competed in 2023, but I want to say the last like major one, like the culture ones that were in New York, like when it was still old school calisthenics, was probably like 2015. And George knew me, Good Money, Good Money knew me. And then like 2000, I want to say like 19 or 20, we linked up.
I didn't realize too. I was just telling Aldo that you have like over 50 videos with him.
I don't know how many, but we did a lot of videos, bro. It's got to be close to 50 for sure, because we would do
It's
3 a day sometimes. We would do multiple in a day, maybe
yeah.
5 in a day. I popped off on his channel a lot, and then I gave him a lot of credit, because then I'm like, fuck it, let me just throw my own channel up. And what really got me going was me talking about gut health on his channel. I think that really like set it off. And then I started talking about gut health on my channel. And I remember I always had a YouTube, so I would watch how I always had a channel, but I would just use it to watch people, right? And maybe I would post like, if you go back, you might see like real old school clips. Like if you look on my IG from today, I put up on my story some old clips, like the older ones, like the first one that I put today, that was probably like 2013 in my boy's basement. That was me on like a fucking, my boys are holding like a bar up for me. I was doing a lever on there, and then a muscle up. And then the next video was 2015, and it was today in 2015. So January 27, 2015. Must have had another snowstorm. So I was out in the park in the snow, hitting bar sets, and yeah, Good Money put me on, and then I started. I think in 2020, I put my first video up, and I probably had like 30 subscribers just over like the 10 years that I was watching people on there. And I remember that first month, I went from like 20 to 100 to 1,000 subs. I'm like, damn, no doubt. And then I just kept rocking with it, throwing up content, and it was. And again, I'm authentic. You guys can tell by the way I'm talking now. I don't script nothing. Everything I do, I freestyle off the top of my head. I don't ever script anything. All my content just boom, whatever I fucking think of, I talk about.
Yeah.
So, and I always trained, right? So I'm like, fuck it, I might as well just throw up my training footage, and whatever I feel like talking about during the training, that's just what I'm just throw up, right? I don't cookie cut nothing. I don't really do no fancy editing, nothing like that. And
No,
yeah, that's the story.
It's all raw. Like it's your workouts, which I think is great because there's so many of these influence. You want to call them influence? They're really just grifters. They're looking to sell you shit. They're not telling you anything. But then you come upon a guy like you, and you're telling people, "This is what I do today. This is what I'm going to do tomorrow. This is what I'm going to eat today. This is exactly how I eat. This is good for your gut. This is good to lose weight." I mean, it's real information. Like it's what people need because people are floundering. You've been training, obviously, you other people for a long time. What do you think? What's the biggest pain point for guys when they come to you? Most guys are going to say what? Lose weight and gain muscle, right?
So my clientele is broad, bro. I got clients young, like so right now is not, I don't have any young kids, but I've trained from 13-year-old kids, and right now I got like 68-year-old women that I train, right? So my clientele is broad. I don't only train calisthenics. So right now, like I said, I went to school for exercise science, so I learned all the knowledge, and I got NASM. NASM don't teach you calisthenics, so I have the whole exercise science background, right? So not I got maybe, so right now I got a clientele of like 23 people that I see weekly. I want to say maybe only 6 of us are really focusing on calisthenics mostly, and the rest are more just whatever I tell them to do. So I'll always throw calisthenics in. But like when people come to me, like I get hit up all the time, right? Like, asking questions, and it's always like, yeah, how do I lose weight, build muscle? And, it's more so, I guess the pain point being, a lot of people just don't know what to do in general, right? Programming, how to train. Because like when I started, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. But I tell people now, right? Because if you're hitting me up when you're 30 years old, bro, it's a lot different. When I was 21, like I said, I was going to the park twice a day, like recovery, twice a day while partying like crazy, right? And recovery never fucked with me, right? I was always super recovered. And people used to ask me, well, how the fuck do you do it? And it's funny, I'll just tell a little. So I used to always, I don't know if you ever heard of this thing called chlorella, right? It's like an algae. It's like a living food, chlorella, right? So back in the day when I would drink like crazy, bro, I would always come home wasted, and I would fucking down like 50 pills of chlorella, and it would just literally fucking, and right before I go to bed, I would wake up never hungover, and everyone's like, yo, how do you do it? I'm like, bro, honestly, it's the chlorella pills, bro. I just gives me so much energy and recovery, and I was always able to just fucking perform on it. But yeah, pain points, I guess, for most people, yeah, lose weight, and more so just they don't know what to do. So if they're coming to me now, if you're an older dude and you're trying to say, yo, should I train like this? I'm like, honestly, bro, like more is not always better right now for you because you got to worry about recovery and everything. So it all depends on like the client that's hitting me up. So
Right.
you
Thank
know
you
what
so
I'm
much for
saying?
bro. Let me. Sorry to interrupt you, man, but
Nah,
you
go
got me
ahead.
really, really. Because I'm in Nebraska, bro. So the whole scene with New York, calisthenics. I've been watching it for a long time. I trained with some bros from New York, and I'm always intrigued, man. So I want to ask you, how different it is from that, because what you're talking about the old school New York calisthenics, that's what kind of my perception, right? So I don't know how it is at this point during this time over there. How is the culture? Has the culture changed so much from when you
Yeah,
were
bro.
coming up, or
Hundred
how is
percent,
it?
like 100%, like the OGs that I look up to, like Zeph,
Mm-hmm,
Doc. You know, I was big on the so then I really fell into like the Wingate clan. Like I got really big
mm-hmm,
with Wingate, and I would roll up to Wingate all the time, train with Doc, train with them, with those dudes over there. And I remember this. I got a picture, and I posted it like I think it was during COVID when that whole like the Black Lives Matter and everything was going racial, and it was me in the middle, and then I got like Doc and like two other heads to my right, and then three other dudes to my left, and it's me in the middle. I'm white, and they're all dark skinned, and we're all posted up on the wall like this. And I'm like, what color? And it was a black and white photo, and it was a fire photo. But like that was before social media. That was I mean they were throwing shit up on YouTube and everything, but now everything's a everyone wants to be better than the next person. Everybody wants the fame, everyone wants the clout and everything. Everyone wants to be the 50 Cent of calisthenics, right? Talking mad shit and everything. I mean, it gets views. You can see there a lot of people pop off like that. So Akeem, Akeem Supreme. So
mm-hmm,
he's an OG, bro. I'm older than him. But he's been competing in the very first tournament that I told you about when I was in NBXA in the Bronx. That first one when they made you freestyle, he was there. And Joe Brolick, you know Joe Brolick?
mm-hmm.
So he's younger than me, bro. He's a young guy. He was probably 13, 14 out there when I was like in my 20s, when I was my young 21-year-old out there. And like the culture is just so like they were just like in the moment, like fuck it. They didn't give a fuck about cameras. Everything was energy back then. Like we're here to boost everybody up. Now you go in, and there was beef back then too. I was never around for the beef, but I see it on like other people's stories and everything. Like I hear about it and everything. But like when I was around, it was always love. And like I'm like I'm like an introverted extrovert. So like you come to me and you want to chill, train with me, no doubt. But like I'm at the point where I'm not really going out of my way to train with nobody unless I really respect them or not, you know?
Aldo and I talk about this a lot. To your point, what you were just saying about the beefs and all, and the guys that you mentioned, right? It was they got Doc and
Yeah, yeah.
the
Zeph,
old
yeah.
Zep. So obviously now Rip Wright, he's big now.
Yeah, for sure.
So he did a series where he was talking about all of these beefs and
Yeah, settling on
you
the
know
bars. I watched them all.
yeah, it was like he had an issue with Bam Bam and down in Baltimore, and who doesn't
Yep.
like this guy, and they're talking about Zep, like, and I was going to say to you, like, it, and I get it. If there's going to be competition, you're going to talk smack. It builds up interest in the whole thing. But it seems like these guys are really there's like a real dislike there. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
100%.
So I mean, you must have been like privy to some of it, like and seen it up close. And I get it. If you're going to compete with somebody and you want to get in each other's faces, but and then you got Man Time down in Baltimore, right?
Yep. Yeah.
And
Well, he's
like,
out in Texas now.
but he seems to be at odds with everybody.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's the 50 Cent. He wants to be he's the 50 Cent of calisthenics.
Obviously, you must have seen that over in Lincoln Terrace when Man Time showed up and it was him and Akeem.
Of course, of
You remember
course.
that?
Hell
Right?
yeah. 50 muscle ups now.
Right. And
Yeah.
there is now that could have gone bad in a second.
100%.
You know what I mean? That could have
100%.
gone really bad in a second.
And
For
that's
no good reason.
And that's the thing, like I said, I'm 38. That's 20-year-old shit. Like their mentalities are they ain't grown. That's not a grown mentality. Like
Right.
you want to compete, no doubt. Put your money up, no doubt. But like, I mean, I got other things going on. I got a future. I'm not trying to get arrested or it's not worth getting into beef or stabbed or something like that. For what? Like it's not worth it to me. And again, like that whole mentality, like for me, like I said, I mean, I'm an old soul, I guess. I was an old soul when I was in my late 20s. Like I was like too grown for all that shit anyways also. So I fell off at calisthenics. I'm gonna say I fell off from 2016. I would say I fell off of because when I say fall off, I mean before that I was all straight calisthenics, right? I used to only go to the park winter, summer, no matter what. I would, like I said, I was anti-gym, anti-everything. But then I eventually started training in the gym in the winter time just because, again, I wanted to be more comfortable with my calisthenics and I wanted to train in warm conditions. But I also gravitated into more a little bit of weightlifting because, like I said, my mentality at the time, I get bored of doing one thing forever. Like it's always been my thing. Like I always want to find new shit to spark the interest. So I started there. So I would say around like maybe after I started linking with good money, maybe like around like 2022 to 2024, yeah, I would say from 2022 to 2024, I went from being like an 80% calisthenic, 20% weightlifter to like a 80% weightlifter, 20% calisthenics, because that's just where my mind took me and that's just where my interest was at the time. And that honestly, it kind of fucked me and it kind of fucked me up a little bit in terms of I gained weight, I got sloppy with shit. Um, I still put out content. I still trained. I still put out, hybrid, a lot of hybrid routines. But my focus and my passion for the calisthenics kind of fell off. And what really sparked it was seeing all the new heads, and what I was getting at, you would have met me in 2016, bro. I swear to you, I don't think there was one person in New York who would have fucked with me. Like I remember pulling up, I want to say 2018 to Boss Life's competition. This was like, all right, so I want to say maybe that's around 2018. Boss Life had a competition in Jersey, and I remember pulling up, and I'm like, damn, I'm gonna smoke all these dudes. But I was already on like backing off of calisthenics, not putting the full throttle anymore, right? And the only person I remember pulling up and I seen was Eric Rivera, fitness phenom, and I'm like, damn, if anyone's gonna give me a run for my money, it's gonna be him. And I didn't do good that competition. Remember, I always thought like no matter what, no one's fucking with me. So I didn't even train for the comp. I didn't even know what the comp was. And when I went there, it's like, all right, it's 1 minute pull-ups, 30-second break, 1 minute dips, 30-second breaks, 1 minute push-ups, and whatever it was. And like my endurance was just not fucking there. I'm like, damn. And that kind of like almost like demotivated me a little bit. And I'm like, all right, maybe I'm gonna just focus more on the weights for a little bit. But come 2016, like the clips you see on my IG, if you look at the clips you see on my IG today that I put on my story today, not the first one, that was 2013, like the one from 2015 and 2015 where I'm doing the levers in the morning in my house at fucking 6 in the morning and then going to the park in the snow, training in the snow. You would have pulled up to me. I don't think there was one person who would have beat me in anything unless you were Zeph. I think I would have smoked anybody, I think. And that's the confidence I had back then because that's how on it I was. And now, and when I see these dudes, I'm like, you guys are nowhere even near as good as I was back then. And like a lot of these guys are just reps. Bro, I was doing front levers, I was doing handstands, I was doing planches, and my reps were fucking through the roof. Like my endurance was fucking through the roof. And I was smoking weed every fucking day, 8 blunts a day back then. And I was still had the confidence that nobody would have fucked with me back then. But like I said, then that competition 2018 was kind of like an ego check, and I'm like, all right, no doubt. So let me just fall back. I'm still gonna train calisthenics as my passion always, but let me focus a little bit more on the weightlifting and everything. And even like when 2020 came, when I was linking up with good money, and I was on the rings, I was super. That's what I'm saying. I was so diverse with calisthenics. My ring game was fucking through. I was so nice on the rings. I didn't know anybody that was nicer than me on the rings, unless you were a gymnast. And no, I'm not even talking like even Zeph probably couldn't fuck with me on the rings. I was nice. And if you watch my old videos with good money, I have mad ring video demonstrations up. And like I said, though, it was more so like just interest, right? My interests are all over the place at times. So I was like, all right, let me fall back on this and focus more on this. And like right now, though, I would say my passion for calisthenics. So the last competition I did was in 2023. And I competed in the 1 rep max competition, which was the street. You heard of USA Street Lifting, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that was their first American competition. It was held in Brooklyn in Ferox. And you know Matthew Zlat?
No.
The Russian dude. He's the strongest puller and strongest dipper in the world, right?
Yeah. I have heard of him. Yeah.
I hired him in September of 2022 to coach me for the competition. So he coached me for 7 months. So I got my dip up at that point to 200 pounds, which wasn't even my heaviest ever. My heaviest dip ever was at another black. I competed a lot in the old days. Like I said, I competed in almost all the comps back in the day, from like 2012 to 2015. And in a black ninja competition, another one that he held, it was a weighted one. I dipped 230, and that's when
Mm.
That's when it was fucking no standards, no form standards. But I dipped 230 pounds that day, and in competition at the street lifting, I only dipped 200, right? But also, I was heavy. So on that competition day, I was supposed to weigh in as a middleweight, under 175. But I always struggled to gain weight. I was always struggling to put mass on. And when I was working with Matthews Lat, I went from like 160 in September to like 176 on competition day. And it was just like, I didn't give a fuck. I lost the definition. I was a little more body fat, but it was like, damn, this is the size that I always wanted to put on, right? But I was supposed to weigh in as a middleweight. Middleweight, I would have came in second place in the competition in the middle. I ended up coming in third place though for heavyweights. I got the third place I got the place certification.
Because of
But
that
I think
1 pound. Because of that 1 pound of body weight.
1 pound of body weight moved me up to the heavyweights, and I was competing with Brooklyn Tanks category. That guy Los, and I still hit third in I think it was the dip that I came in third in. It was definitely the dips that I came in third in. Which if I was in the middleweights, I would have came in second overall. I would have came in second for pull and dip on that day. But my body weight was again fucking me up. I had too much body fat on me also, which was weighing me down. So, and then after that competition, so even before, actually, right before that competition happened, so I fractured my right elbow. You can see this is as much as my right arm opens. It might look straight, but it's not. Like my left arm is fucking straight.
Mm.
My right arm, I fucking fractured this shit snowboarding, and I refuse I refuse to get surgery on it. And after that competition, like I had a lot of pain, and let's fucking no. So before the 2023 competition, I did the Battle of the Bars in Wingate, and I was a favorite. I was on one of the main events, and it was me versus this kid from Jersey, and I knew I was gonna smoke this kid. And going into it, like I said, my confidence was so high that I didn't even really train for the routine. The routine was 25 weighted pull-ups with the 45, 25 weighted dips with the 45, 25 body weight pull-ups, 25 body weight dips, and then 25 muscle-ups. Obviously, as fast as you can, right? Because we're going one-on-one against each other. When I was training for it, I knew my muscle-ups were so strong, but I also had my confidence was so high. Like my training was very lackadaisical, right? Like I never really trained for the competition. Competition day comes, I smoked them through the weighted sets, and then the muscle up comes, and I did not know how to kip. I only knew how to do clean muscle ups at this point. My kipping was out the game, and they didn't have a form standard on the muscle up. So muscle ups come, I'm on the muscle up bar before him, and I go to do that first muscle up, and I fail on it. And I know once you fail on a muscle up when you're super fatigued, it's bad. Like
Mm-hmm.
it takes time to recover. And then I
Mm-hmm.
see him get on the bar, and he's fucking legging, fucking swinging, and I'm like, fuck, I don't even remember how to kip, bro. My muscle ups are always so clean, and I didn't have the clean reps in me. And I remember, like, by the time I got 5, he was like at 15, and I'm like, yo, he has 10 more, I got 20 more. I'm like, he's gonna get me right here. And I was fucking 32 at the time, right? He was fucking like 20, 21. And I remember when I was 21 going, and that's when I was winning competitions. I was like 22, 23. I'm like, I was going up against the old kids that I would watch, and I was beating them. I'm like, I know how it is to be young and hungry and be unstoppable at that point. So he got me there too. The young cat beat me, and then that was probably, I think that was COVID or right before COVID. That might have been 2019. 'Cause I don't know if people were masked up in the park or not. They might have been. It might have been 2020, but
Bro.
yeah, then 2023, like I said, I hired Matt Zlat in 22. He coached me for the weighted competition, and that was my last comp. But I just got reached out by my boy Will, he was the strongest at the time in middleweight, and he's probably one of the strongest pullers in New York, strongest dippers in New York. What's his fucking name? Well, his name's William Satianga, but his Instagram is like, I can't coach. I don't know. Maybe you know him, maybe you don't. But he's got the fro. He's a young cat too, though. He's much younger than me. He's probably still in his 20s. And but he's super strong. So he's judging now, and he hit me up like a few weeks ago. He's like, "Yo, you want to compete in the one in April?" I'm like, "I'll let you know." But I've been training on my own low key. I've been training. If you've been watching, I've been training weighted dips and weighted pulls again.
Yeah, I saw you. You mentioned it in a recent video that you sort of changed up your training because you're gonna jump in on it. It's in April,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's in April. So my weighted dips now. So when I was working with Zlat, like I said, I was at 175 and 176 competition day, but my weighted dip got up to 200, right? And I know now, like right now, I'm probably weighing like 163 light, maybe 165, and which is my where my body weight should be, right? I have much more definition. I'm lighter. I can move better, and the way I'm dipping now, the way I'm moving weight now, like I wasn't even moving it that easy when I was training with him. So I'm not worried about my dips. My dips, I know I could probably push them back up to 200 on competition day easily. It's my pull. My pull's always been weak, and again, it's I don't got force. I don't get as much force output because this elbow's fucked up, and people are gonna judge my form. But I remember when I competed in 2023, I'm like, yo, bro, do not judge my right side. Only watch me from the left because I'm gonna be locked out fully on the left, but my right's gonna look like it's fucking not locked out, right? Even at the dip, right? So judge my fucking left side. And they
Hey,
did, they did.
I don't mean to cut you off, but it's being you talking about that. I know exactly what you're saying. Number one, I saw that because I'm keen to it because a few years back when I was doing pull-ups, I don't know if a tendon or whatever, but my right arm doesn't straighten completely out,
Uh-huh.
right?
Yeah, it's
So you,
common.
yeah, so I was watching one of your videos the other day, and when you were coming down, maybe you were doing a weighted muscle up or whatever you were doing, or pull up, but I caught it. I'm like, his right arm isn't straightening out. There must be something wrong
If you,
because your left arm was perfectly straight, but there
yep.
was that slight bend in the right arm. And it's noticeable.
And honestly, that was like a confidence killer for me too. Because so if you look at me doing muscle ups now, like with my shirt off, so now it's not so. I guess because I'm leaner, I guess it doesn't show the imbalance as much, right? But like in terms of, so because this elbow doesn't ever lock out, my right shoulder is always rolled forward, right? Because my tricep doesn't always get full engagement, right? So at lockout, my right shoulder it never gets rolled back. So if I'm on top of the muscle up bar, I look kind of like sloppy and like lopsided, and it would just almost like kill my confidence a little bit. Like, damn, I don't even look good doing this shit no more. Only film my left side from now on, right? Because my pops is my cameraman, right? So he's retired, so he filmed me. I train him too. Whenever I train, he trains with me. And
He usually makes an appearance in the. He
yeah,
makes
yeah, yeah, yeah. He
a
makes
cameo in a
cameos.
lot of the
Yeah,
videos, right?
exactly, exactly, exactly. So I'm like, yo, just film my left side from now on. But like now, it's like It's not even. My elbow's still fucked up, but my form it looks a little better now that I guess because I have more. I'm leaner. I have more definition. But I remember when I had the body fat and I was a little more puffy. Like it looked even worse. Like I would look like I was on top of the bar like this, and it just didn't look good to me, right? So I'm like, damn, who the fuck is gonna want to watch this shit or take advice? They're gonna think I'm doing fake reps or sloppy reps, right? But like I said, but I'm feeling stronger than I ever have right now in terms of like preparation. I'm 38, like I said. I mean, my nutrition's super dialed in right now. I take NAD, which has been a fucking nice game changer in terms of like energy production. And I was on BPC 157 for a few months, which was really helping the elbow. So like when I was competing in 2023, even me, like I said, I was heavier. I was 176, 176. When I would load up that weight or I would hang from that bar, like I would have pain in my elbow, like inflammation. But that's also mainly, I know it's diet related too. Like I know a lot of foods cause inflammation in my body. That's why I don't fuck with gluten. I don't fuck with grains really. I'll eat a little bit of white. I'll eat white rice as my main grain, if anything. But
Now
yeah. So
the NAD, right? That I know about. That's pretty popular and all. But the other one you mentioned, BPC 157.
BPC 157. Yeah, I mean that's one of the most popular peptides, right? They'll call it the Wolverine peptide because it's known to rejuvenate. It regenerates and repairs tissue, tendons, ligaments. Like literally, let's just say you had surgery arbitrarily. Let's just say you had fucking Achilles surgery on your fucking Achilles, and Achilles is a bad injury. But there's people that I know that take it. If they start shooting the BPC near the Achilles, it speeds up the recovery time almost like 3 times you'll recover as fast, right? So when I'm on the BPC, like I have no pain in my fucking elbows, my joints feel fucking amazing. So I'm just off it right now, just because I always like to take breaks from thing, right? So I don't want my body to get so used to it. So I'm actually gonna probably I got to get back on it before competition. So I'll probably start getting back on it around February-ish. But now I'm using. So I was initially just using straight BPC 157, which is the known Wolverine stack. But then there's always advancements and things come out. So now you get a blend of BPC 157 and TB 500, which is thymosin beta. So TB 500 and thymosin beta come as a joint peptide now, which is now like the Wolverine stack. So those two combined, it's supposed to be because they call it the Wolverine stack because Wolverine, when he would get hurt, he would regenerate quick, right? So that's why they call it that. And it really is a fucking game changer. Like I put a lot of my clients onto it, and everyone that uses it, it's like their pain goes away almost, really, really fast.
You take it, or how do you apply it? I
Inject.
never heard of these things, bro. I'm like
And
really
so
intrigued.
they'll make it in pill form, but you got to inject it. Injecting it is the best way. It's not a SARM. It's not like a select angelin receptor, so it's not banned. You ain't gonna get. It's not gonna come up on a drug test or anything. It doesn't take away your natty card, so I'm still natty. I'm still natural, 100%. And NAD too. NAD I injected too, but I mean naturally you could go to a clinic, one of those fucking clinics where they do the IV drips, and they're gonna charge you a couple $100 for an NAD drip. But I just get the fucking injections monthly. I get the monthly fucking injections sent to me, and I just shoot myself fucking. And NAD, like that's in our mitochondria, right? That's the power. It's almost like the powerhouse of our cells. And as we age, it naturally declines. So if it's literally amazing for longevity. It helps you with recovery. It helps you with energy. So like I said, especially if you're training hard, naturally you're gonna recover. Even your body's ability to recover is gonna be dampened. The harder you train, the older you get. So that's just like a fucking rejuvenation, life boost, honestly, for me, and it works. I have a lot of clients that take it too, and they all love it.
Prez, talk a little bit about. I saw the other day that you were you gave up your coffee recently, right?
2 years, over 2 years now. No caffeine.
And you're on the Shilajit.
Shilajit for sure.
What's your take on that? Because I've had people ask me about it, and I've never really done too much research on it, but I know it seems to be pretty popular with a lot of the calisthenics guys now.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be honest. I saw it from the dude Mantime when he was posting up because he's got his own brand of it.
Yeah.
But I listen to a lot of podcasts, right? Mind Pump, Ben Greenfield. So I've heard it. I've heard it in the news. And then I only probably got on it. I only started taking, I think, last April of 2025, right? And it was just because I'm like, yo, I like coffee. I like drinking something hot in the morning. And I was already over a year off. I quit coffee December of 2023. So December of 2025 made 2 years, right? So I was drinking teas in the morning. And I'm like, yo, let me just try this Shilajit out. And honestly, the only thing I ever felt like I've been taking creatine for years. Like I could go on creatine, go off creatine. I could go off fucking Shilajit. I could go on Shilajit. I don't notice anything. I just take it because I know that it's supposedly doing benefits for me, right? The only thing I'm not even going to front that I actually ever feel was NAD, and it's fucking instant, and BPC 157. But those, I'm injecting them into my body, right? So they're hitting my blood, they're hitting my body, hit my bloodstream like right away. Like NAD, like the most. Like I shoot that, and it's like. It's almost like you're high for a second. Like you feel that shit rushing through your body, and it could be scary for people, but I like it. Like I also quit smoking weed. Today's makes day 23, right? I haven't smoked bud in 23 days.
Okay,
So
you just opened up the can of worms. I was waiting for you to mention that.
Yeah, let's go.
I want to show you something real quick. I'm going to hit you with this. All right. So I was creeping your page to get some information on you for the interview, right? And what do I come across but this here?
I knew it, bro. Me and Broly, bro. We did a fucking whole collab smoking, bro. We were talking about increasing our lung capacity.
Energy.
This is me, man. My prime right here. I mean, I was lit back here, man. I was nice back here. Look, you can see how ripped I was. I was fucking lean. This is before the elbow injury.
All right, so
good for you, man. Congratulations.
and you're doing your thing.
Thank you.
Like, okay, so, but now recently, in all seriousness, you're talking about you gave it up, and what are you a few weeks in now, right? You haven't.
So, all right. So I always perform good, right? Like I said, we never fucked with me during training. And so I thought, right? So I thought. But like I said, I'm also optimizing everything right now. So I've been off it for 3 weeks. Every single workout I PR'd. Not saying it's because maybe it's because I'm off of the weed. And obviously, so back then, there was a time, I would say that was, what year was that video? 2019? When was that video?
I think it was 3 or 4
21?
years ago.
20, maybe 21, 22, right? So back, I would say just about that time, around 2022, right? I would literally, like, I would have to pull up to the park or to the gym, and I would literally have to fucking, if I forgot my blunt, or if I didn't have, I would go back home and get it before, because I would have to literally be leaving my car, exhaling that last hit before I would start my workout, right? That's how fucking married to it I was, right? That's how a part of my regimen it was, right? Like, if I didn't take that last hit right before my training session, I didn't think I was going to be able to perform, right? I wouldn't even want to train, because that was like engraved in me. And over the last couple of years, I realized, actually I cut back a lot over the last few years. Anyways, like, back then I was smoking literally, like I said, probably 6 blunt. When I made that video, I think I was smoking a blunt. He was smoking a joint. I was smoking probably 6 blunts a day back then. I was anti joints. But then around like 2022, 2023, I'm like, I got to get off the fucking blunts. Let me just start smoking joints. And I went from smoking 7 blunts a day to just smoking 1 blunt. And it would last me 2-3 days. And I would just smoke joints during the day. And then I realized, as soon as I made that switch to the joints, the morning Jays, I would be like, holy shit, bro, I'm getting super fucking ripped off this, just a few hits. And I realized, like, it was the nicotine from the Dutch that made me smoke so much, because I was addicted to the nicotine in the Dutch, right? So that's why I would smoke so many Dutches a day, because I would get high, but I would want the nicotine hit. So I was like, I'm smoke again, smoke again, smoke again. But then when I cut that down, and I started smoking joints, like, even right now before I quit, I was maybe smoking max 2 joints a day. And like I said, I would have a blunt rolled, and that blunt would last. I would roll a blunt on like a Monday night, and that blunt would last me Monday, Tuesday, maybe till even Wednesday. And that I would only smoke the blunts at night. So I ain't even saying, I ain't gonna front. Like, I liked smoking weed, and I don't think I'm not gonna never smoke again. But I know right now I got it under control if I go back, right? And I know that I don't need to smoke during the day. I don't need to smoke to eat. Not that it gave me the munchies. I never had munchies. But like that first week when I quit, I had zero appetite. I lost 8 pounds right away when I quit the first week. And then week 2, my appetite came back. And I guess that was like more of like, when you quit smoking cigarettes, when people quit smoking cigarettes, they usually gain weight, right? And I guess that was the nicotine aspect of the week. The first week was probably the weed withdrawals. And that's why I had no appetite, because I was so used to always smoking before I ate. No matter what, I would smoke before I ate, smoke right after I ate. And again, it wasn't munchies. I was always eating clean. But that first week, it was like, I had no appetite at all. And then week 2, my appetite came back rampant, which I put to the fact that, okay, this is the nicotine withdrawal. Now my body just wants to fucking make up for that. And so definitely, I mean, weed, I mean, it probably was maybe slowing down my force production. Maybe it was, making me a little slower than I thought, right? Maybe I didn't know that it was having an effect on me. But like I said, even up until before I quit, like, I wasn't smoking right before I worked out, right? I was smoking maybe an hour before, and then I would go into my workout or something. So it wasn't like I have to take that last hit right before my session starts, and then I won't be able to train if I don't have that hit, right? I was actually even able to not smoke in the mornings. I always knew I was going to smoke later in the day regardless, right? So I didn't even have to smoke before I trained anymore. So I'm not saying my performance is better now from not smoking. I'm not saying that it's not. Maybe it is better from not smoking, but I definitely still could feel myself, at nighttime, on a long, stressful day. Because some days I'm in the gym with clients I start every single morning, Monday through Friday. My clients either start at 6 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or 5:45 a.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays, right? So I'm up early in the gym, and some days I go till 6 o'clock at night. So those are 12-hour days. And like, I come home and I'm stressed out, I just want to relax on the couch. And sometimes I'm like, damn, a joint would feel real good right now, just to fucking, I'm talking about like these last 2 weeks, 3 weeks thoughts of how I'm feeling. A joint would feel nice right now. But I haven't smoked nothing. I said I'm gonna give myself at least 31 days. So if after 31 days I go back and smoke a joint at night, I don't give a fuck. I have no shame of saying I smoking joints at night again, and I know it won't be anywhere near as much because if I do, I know I'm gonna get super ripped and I'll. So when I was 25 and I quit drinking for those 4 months, and I used to love drinking. When I went back to drinking, I fucking hated it. I don't drink at all. If I drink now, it's 2 times a year and it's maybe a couple shots each time, right? And I fucking hate it. I haven't been wasted in fucking ages. So like maybe I won't even like smoking weed no more. I don't know. So we'll find all that out.
I mean, I'm amazed because obviously you said in the video that you've been doing it for years and years, and you just explained how much you were doing it, but you were still able to perform.
100%.
So,
every competition, smoking before everything.
Right. And you could still perform at that level, and I know, the last joint I smoked, I was 19 years old. I was coming back from Manhattan through the Holland Tunnel back into Jersey. It was the last time I ever smoked. But the thing is, I knew I could tell you, I know exactly the feeling that I used to get from it. It would make me paranoid. I didn't like it. I just didn't like it. You know what I mean? So, and my point is, I couldn't imagine now smoking a joint or whatever, and then going out in the yard and doing 100 pull-ups and 20 push-ups.
I feel you.
I couldn't imagine it.
Exactly. So I don't know if I'm gonna like it. Like I said, maybe I'm gonna feel so stoned. And so my first time I smoked, I was 13. I hated it also. Then I would say the first 10 times I smoked throughout my teens, I fucking hated it. I didn't start smoking bud until I was 21. And that was when all my boys were smoking. It was just, I'm like, yo, fuck it. I'm gonna just start smoking with you guys. And everyone was already smoking a lot earlier than me. Everyone was doing everything early. I was only drinking. They were drinking and smoking, doing fucking yay and everything. I never fucked with nothing except weed. Weed was the only drug I ever did, and alcohol. And like I said, I mean, I used to love alcohol. I fucking hate it now. So who knows? Maybe I won't like weed anymore either. But
you mentioned that. Okay, so you're going into the gym. And you forgot it. So you said, I would go all the way home.
I would go home and smoke.
Like, why? Like, what was the thought process? What? Because I'm not going to be able to perform, or
so there was one time I was probably 25 or 26. I said, yo, let me just try to stop smoking for a week. And I made it 4 days during the day. 4 days during the day. So I would only smoke at night. And I was trying to quit. But those 4 days, every single workout I went into, I fucking caught headaches, crazy headaches. And then I said, all right, on that Friday, I said, I'm going to smoke before my workout. Smoke before my workout, no more headaches. So I'm like, all right, I said, I got to smoke always before I work out. So that was it. So,
that's great, man.
So on that note, right? So I always do research. I always listen to fucking podcasts, So Andrew Huberman?
Yeah.
All right, so he just had Dorian Yates, the bodybuilder. So he just had Dorian Yates on his fucking show. Nice 3-hour podcast, right? Dorian Yates smokes every day. And they're talking about a study that was done in UCLA, a 25-year-long study that I think only concluded in like 2016 or 2018, where they followed cannabis smokers, chronic cannabis smokers who smoked for 25 years every single day, cigarette smokers who smoked every single day, and non-smokers. Obviously, the non-smokers had no markers of like inflammation in their lungs, no cancers or anything. The cigarette smokers, the worst, the highest correlation to cancers, bronchitis, lung infections, just overall chronic infections. The weed smokers, decreased cancer rates because weed, obviously there's benefits of THC for cancer suppression and the way like the cannabinoids hit the cells in the body. There's something where it's like has an effect on cancer in a good way. They did have more cases than the non-smokers, obviously, of, bronchitis or chronic lung infections, wasn't as nowhere near as prominent as the smokers. But the weed smokers had the greatest lung capacity compared to non-smokers and the cigarette smokers. So their lung capacity was higher than all of them. So I always think back. So when I was doing that video with Broly, increased my lung capacity, I'm like, maybe my lungs were fucking up. Maybe I did have strong lungs, but I know for a fact that I hate cardio. I never was like a long distance cardio person. And like, I would get exasperated from that. And I haven't tried to do any cardio since I quit yet, really, besides run around the block, which has always been easy for me. And actually last year, my goal was in 2025, the winter of 2025. I said I want to run a mile in 8 minutes. And I was smoking weed all the time back then, and I never ran, and I did that easy. So I mean, did it really fuck up my lungs? I don't know, but it was more
Yeah.
so I just had to get control over it and just wanted to, if I want to do it, I'll do it. If I don't, I don't.
All right. So training. A lot of people say, what's the best way to do this? Right. And you talked about it earlier, like it depends on people's circumstance. Like what are you
100%.
what's your end what's really your end goal? What are you looking to do? But now for the rest of your life, you can't do anything but go into your gym and either work with weights or do calisthenics. What are you gonna do?
Damn, that's a hard question. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna do probably calisthenics. I mean, because I don't like a lot of weight movements, right? I like to overhead press. I don't like a lot of weightlifting, right? I don't bench. I hate benching. I like to overhead press. I like to row, but I could row in the gym. I could row with calisthenics, right? I could throw a vest on. But again, I like variety that the weights give me at times, right? I like that I could use a barbell for overhead press, or I could use a dumbbell for overhead press, or I could do handstand push-ups. But handstand push-ups are handstand push-ups only, right? So I like variety. But if I was to, so I'll break it down to, I think I would do. I could never deadlift again. Don't give a fuck about it. Squatting, I'm still going to say squats are a calisthenic movement because it's a closed chain exercise, right? So I haven't barbell squatted in a few months, right? I moved on to belt squats, more Bulgarian split squats. But again, squats, I'm going to say any type of squat is calisthenic still because it's a closed chain movement. Closed chain meaning your arms are, your whole body moves through space and just one limb is fixed to the floor, or, just your limbs are fixed to the floor. Whereas open chain, which is body, more stuff with weights. Now, open chain, if I'm sitting on a bench and I'm doing a shoulder press, only my limbs move through space and my body is stagnant, right? That's an open chain movement versus a closed chain. So closed chain, handstand push-ups, my hands are fixed now, but now my body's moving up and down through space. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So squats are still a closed chain movement, right? My feet are fixed to the floor, my body moves up and down. Bench press, open chain, dips, closed chain, right? So I like closed chain movements better than open chain movements for that matter, right? But like I said, I do like to overhead. So I find value in things like overhead pressing has an amazing translation over to handstand push-ups and handstands in general, right? Because holding a heavy weight over your head with perfect form, it's identical to holding a handstand perfect form on the floor, freestanding balancing. Freestanding balancing is the same. And you get a strong overhead press, your handstand push-up is going to go up a lot easier. I've noticed that firsthand. So if I would pick movements, if I only had to do 5 movements, I would say I would do muscle ups, dips, pull-ups, overhead pressing, squats. That's it. If I only had 5 movements, those would be the 5, and the only weightlifting movement in there would be an overhead press. And I would skip a row, and I'll do body weight rows if I have to, or But again, I get enough back stimulation from muscle ups and pull ups. So that's
No
that's
push-ups.
top. If I had to pick 5, I would eliminate push ups for dips. But I mean, push-ups. If I'm talking calisthenics only, then 100% it's going to be muscle ups, pull-ups, rows, dips, squats. Top 5. And pull-up could be any variation you want. It could be a neutral grip. It could be a chin up. It could be pronated. Anything you want, right? So calisthenic. Those are the main 5 calisthenic movements, anyways, right? Then you could get into like there's variations: one hand push-up, one hand pull-up. But I mean, that's the thing with calisthenics. So you could get a planche going, you get a front lever going. Those are different movements, things like that. But top 5, those are the main 5, and that you're really gonna have to worry about. So training, right? So what I've learned, I love reps and sets, right? I love high volume reps. I love high volume workouts. I love pushing myself through endurance. EMOMs and shit like that. And I'll always say this, right? Training for high rep endurance work gives you the best bang for your buck overall because you get conditioned, you build a lot of endurance, your fucking work capacity goes up, and you could get super strong at it, right? Not as strong as if you're only focusing on strength training, meaning low rep work, right? If you're only focusing on low rep work, you're going to definitely get stronger. But if you're doing high rep work and you're taking high rep work to failure, let's just say you're doing a set of fucking 30 pull-ups. And on rep 26, you're already at the dead hang. And 27, you're struggling. 28, you're struggling. That's that same struggle that you're gonna feel on like a 3 rep max or a 5 rep max weighted pull-up, right? So you're still gonna get that strength benefit from the high rep work, but you're not gonna get maximal strength output because fatigue is the enemy of strength at the same time. So you can't be fatigued and tired and be strong at the same time. But you do tap into those failure and those high threshold motor units with high rep work. Granted, you're taking high rep sets to extreme failure, meaning, like I said, those 70, if you're doing a 70 clip of push-ups and then those last reps, you're like, just to grind it out. It's like doing a fucking weighted push-up with 120, with a body on your back, and you can only do 3 reps, right? Because you're gonna be fucking grinding for those slow reps, right? It's the rep speed that really matters for that intensity. Now, on the other hand, if you train strength, which is pretty much what I'm gonna be focusing on right now, if I train strength solely, like when I was training with Zlat for the 7 months, he had me on the most regimented, strictest program. Don't do anything else, bro. No rows. It was literally my program for 7 months where started with weighted muscle ups until I couldn't do weighted muscle ups no more because they were hindering my pull up and dip progress. So the first like 2-3 months, it was muscle ups, weighted pull ups, weighted dips, barbell squats, overhead press in that order every other day, 3 days a week, and with 2 day rest on the weekend. And then I'll be like, yo, can I throw in a drop set of pull ups? Nope. Can I throw in some rows? No. I'm like, all right, no doubt, I'm gonna stick to your program, and it got me results. Like I said, I put on the most size that I put on, but again, a lot of it was body fat because I was eating a lot more than I needed to, and but it works. Like you put on, if you want to build strength, like if you really want to focus just on getting strong, what happens, from my opinion, you get deconditioned, right? Because you go from taking, 45 to 60 second breaks with the high rep endurance sets to taking 3 to 5 minute breaks between your sets. Right now, a workout takes a lot longer. You're spending, let's just say, a 2 hour workout. Your total workload might last only 20 minutes from all the sets that you do. And then you're spending an hour and 40 minutes fucking resting in between, You're not getting very conditioned from that, Whereas, again, when you're doing the high rep sets, you're getting super conditioned. But on that other note, right, what I'll notice is as I got older, low volume work, meaning the strength work, for me, even like right now, just these past couple of weeks of focusing on it, I build muscle fast. I do. Like I said, I've always had a hard time building muscle. So the high rep work always kept me lean and shredded, but it would also keep my metabolism fucking. Even though my metabolism, building strength, building muscle, your metabolism stays rampant, right? But it's the calorie burn that you get during those routines when you're doing a barbarian requirement or a 5 minute, doing 5 MD, right? 50 pulls, 100 push. You're probably gonna burn 200-300 calories in 5 minutes. Whereas a whole fucking 2 hour workout of me doing strength training, I probably don't even burn 200 calories. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like that calorie
Yeah, I agree.
burn that I would get from the high rep sets made it so hard for me to put weight on because I can't eat that much. Like I just couldn't eat enough to put size on that way. You know what I'm saying? But the low volume work for me, it's easier for me to put size on and but again, I love to train. So it's always a conundrum. Like, do I want to rest today? Whereas like I know I need to rest today so I can perform optimally for this strength training. Whereas endurance work, I'm like, fuck it. Should I rest today? I don't have to because I'm just gonna keep adapting to this stimulus and I'm just gonna keep getting more conditioned. You know what I'm saying?
But you like, I find it amazing because anytime I go to your channel and I look at your workouts, like it's a little of this, a little of that, some of this, like it's every day. It just seems to be something different.
So
You're
that's how I
doing the
like to
weighted
train.
calisthenics. You're doing the strength work. You're doing the high endurance. You had one the other day, which was
100%. That's how it was up until 2 weeks ago. Up until my boy hit me up for the competition, I was trying to throw in strength, 2 days of strength, 1 day of endurance, right? So my Fridays for the last couple of months have always been high rep sets, a high rep endurance, and I was doing the weighted shit during the week. Because like I said, I like to be diverse, right? I like to be the guy. Like I said, none of these cats now that are all in the game No one's doing skill. All they could do is talk shit about reps, and their reps are still most of the time sloppy. And it is what it is. They might be strong, might be doing heavy weighted muscle ups, heavy weighted pull ups, but that's it. You're a one track person, right? Go ahead. Let me see you do some front levers. Let me see you do handstand push ups. Let me see you do 1 minute freestanding handstand holds. Let me see you do front levers, planches, things like that, right? No one's doing that. Nobody in the game is doing that really. Maybe the Europeans are doing it, right? No New York heads are doing it. Not one person that I name. Not even the OGs. Like they're one lane too. Like Zeph and them, they're high rep shit, right? They don't do weighted. They don't do heavy. But Zeph is super strong because he's got so much endurance. Like I said, you'll still get very strong with your endurance work, right? Those endurance guys, they'll be able to, they can still dip probably 135 pounds on any day because their body's used to recruiting those motor units regardless because they train to failure with high reps. Whereas if you're not, but again, Zeph's probably the only one I see. Zeph's the only one who could do front levers. That's it. No one else is doing front levers. And Zeph don't even do handstands or nothing like that, right? So that's just, I'm not calling no one out, but that's just facts, right? You don't see them doing any of these other movements, right? Broly, Broly might get some handstands in, but I mean, you don't really see them doing levers. And he's like me, like he would just be diverse too. He would throw in whatever type of workouts they want to do, which is how I really like to train, right? Like I like to be diverse. I like to be diverse, but I always want to be good at whatever I'm doing, right? And I was always like, I ain't gonna post myself doing anything sloppy. Like I'm gonna master it, and then I'll say I can. Then I'll post it because I own it now. You know what I mean?
Right, right. All right, so we're gonna watch for your progress on the training for the competition in April.
Yes, but for sure, bro. I'll be posting. So I just filmed today. Today I just only wrapped up. So my official week 1 of my training just wrapped up today, right? So week 1, day 3. I just filmed that this afternoon, right before we got on this podcast. You'll see mid video, the whole power goes out. So you know I ain't fuck with you, right? So literally mid set. Obviously I'm filming on my iPhone, right? So the power wasn't affected, but you see all my lights go out. I have to run in my crib. I was calling my electrician up, and yeah, it was a Con Ed thing in my neighborhood. There were 2,000 people in my hood with no power this afternoon. So it is what it is. And I literally, in case it didn't come up, I just 2 weeks ago, bro, I bought a fucking solar powered charger and I had that shit by the window. I'm like, in case I can't charge my phone and I got to get on this podcast, I'm going to have this solar powered fucking thing charged up right now. So I was ready, bro. I was ready. I wasn't missing it, bro. I wasn't going to miss the pod.
I appreciate
Thank you
it,
so much,
I really
man.
do.
Nah, for sure. I appreciate you guys too.
All right, Aldo, you want to take us out here, my man?
Man, hey, everybody go check out Bar Naturals, man. That's that, bro. You put out so much content out there, and I've watched you before on That's Good Money. But when Vinny's talking about we gotta get this guy, man, then I was like, oh my god, I gotta do my search on him. And bro, the bro got the recipes, the bro got the workouts, the routines.
Yes,
I mean,
He's cooking,
bro,
He
yeah,
can cook.
exactly. I live it, bro. I ain't a fake. I ain't a fake. I ain't a front, bro. I live it. I
yeah,
talk it. I
man.
breathe it.
I
All that,
respect that very
and
much.
the guy can cook too.
Yes,
Yeah, man.
I could
More
cook.
can
I
you
could
ask?
cook simple shit, but that's the thing, bro. Nutrition don't gotta be complicated, man. It
I
ain't
agree.
I know.
complicated. You know what I'm
I
saying?
know.
I agree,
But that,
man.
hey, Prez, that's human nature. Guys like to complicate it. And like I said earlier, they're
100%.
online and they're looking at all these influencers who, or in my opinion, the vast majority are just grifters looking to sell you something. They're not really looking to help you. You know what I mean? But again, you come upon a channel like yours where everything you need is right here, but it's there for
Exactly.
free. It's there for
Exactly.
free. So people say, oh, it must not be worth anything if he's giving it away for free. Well, you know what?
Nah, that's where you build value, man. That's a mindset. Like I said, no matter what, I'm gonna train. I've been and I could have been doing this for fucking 10 years prior, right? I could have been like me and my boys back in the day. Like if you would have seen our old school, like original footage, like if we were getting footage, like if we could have been, I could have been so much more blown up if I were just posting from years ago, right? But I didn't. That's the thing. And then I said, fuck it. I train. Like I said to you guys, no matter what, I'm gonna be training. What's the difference if I got the camera on me, showing what I'm doing, and that's it. I'm just giving it to the world for free. And like I said, whatever I spit during my videos, whatever I'm talking, is just off the top, and that's just how it would be,
Yeah.
The realest, man. That's the realest, man. We
Exactly.
appreciate that very much, bro.
Nah, I appreciate you guys for sure.
Prez, man, I can't thank you enough. I know, it was a kind of short notice. You got right back to me. We're here.
Nah, it was great, bro. I'm glad we connected.
Power went out, but and we
We
even
made it
said
happen.
Aldo was power, and you know how that goes. They say, oh, it'll be like you said, power should be back on by 3:30.
Nah, so it was 2 o'clock. Then they sent the text at 3 o'clock. Then they sent the text at 3 o'clock saying the power should be up within the next half hour. It was Con Ed. So I'm like, all right, 3:30, it's got to go up. And it literally came up at like 3:25, and my phone was low. And my phone's on red right now, right? So it's literally my battery's on red. And I'm like, let me get like a 5-10 minute charge going real quick, just so I can make sure this fucking thing runs through right now.
All right, cool. All right, brother. Again, I really appreciate it. And as soon as the weather breaks, I'm gonna have to make my way over to Queens, and we'll get a workout in or something.
Yeah, bro. Anytime, and we could meet in the city, whatever. I'm always down to link up. It don't matter to me.
Bar Naturals on YouTube, IG.
Bar Natural _fitness on IG. Bar Naturals on YouTube. And if you guys want to support anything, I guess I do got a website too, barnaturalfitness.com. I got programs on there, diet plans also. And you already know, guys, you can check it out or just go on YouTube. There's tons of free content like you just heard. So
Yeah.
I'm going to be posting the free content forever. So no matter what, like as long as I'm training, the content's going to keep coming.
Great.
Let's go.
All right, Prez. Thanks, brother. We'll talk
All right,
soon.
guys.
I
Appreciate you.
All right, stay well.
God bless you,
Peace
bro.
out, though. Peace, Vin.